Hello there and welcome back to Yorkshire Talks. I'm Christine Talbot.
And I'm Matt Jameson, and each week here at Yorkshire Talks, we're talking to different Yorkshire folk about their incredible journeys and what makes them tick.
Yeah, we're loving finding out more about our guests and finding out why they love Yorkshire so much as well.
We're delighted to say that this episode is sponsored by patient.info, the UK's leading health information website.
Yes, with trusted advice written by health professionals, millions of people are turning to patient.info every month to find out the advice they need on their health and well-being.
So for reliable tools, articles and resources, why not visit patient.info?
Now, this week, we're welcoming back a very special guest, somebody that you all loved when he was our very first guest on Series 1.
YouTube star Danny Malin was here with his wife Sophie and daughter Athena, and it was great to have them here talking about some challenges that they were going through at the time.
Now, Danny is best known as the star of Rate My Takeaway, the YouTube channel, which went viral during COVID and now has millions of followers. His catchphrase is "Now then, guys." You'll know him very well. And you may remember as well, he took his fold-up table to the regions and nations takeaways to try out the food there.
But earlier this year, Danny suffered some serious health issues and made the difficult decision to step away and actually look at some new ventures. So we're excited to hear what those are.
Yeah, he's very kindly agreed to come back to our studio to update us, to have a cuppa with us as well, and tell us all about how life has been lately. Welcome back, Danny Malin.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me back.
Oh, it's lovely to see you again, looking very well, may I say.
You are
Thank
indeed,
you,
you are.
Yeah,
You are.
I've been doing all right last couple of months. I've been doing a bit of self-care, mentally, physically. Lost a bit of weight. So, yeah.
Well, you're looking great. And I remember last time you were here, we did have a big conversation about mental health and everything that you were going through at the time.
Yeah.
So what's been going on now? What are these health issues? What's been happening?
Yeah, so obviously last time I were on, we were talking about, I'd had a stroke and dealing with that.
I don't think we knew that then, Danny,
no,
did
did you
we?
not?
No,
you didn't.
I don't think we talked about
we
it.
didn't
No, we
know. We in fact, when you were last in, you were at that stage, which we'll ask you about, is why you didn't want people to know at the time.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I'd had the stroke and I was dealing with it mentally. The reason why I didn't want people to know is because I didn't want it to be seen as like a sympathy play, that kind of thing, but also I was a bit concerned that people would associate it with what I did on Rate My Takeaway and say, oh, well, you're eating all this stuff, you're having a stroke. At the time, there were just a lot of complications in my life, a lot of stuff going on, and I actually had a blood clot in the back here of my brain, and that's what caused the initial first stroke.
Right.
And then I went in hospital, got admitted to hospital for a few days, come out of hospital, and then me being me, I had a couple of meet and greets booked in, one in Leeds, one in Wakefield, and I thought, I can't let the fans down.
Yeah, so I just cracked on with it.
So I parked the van up and I sat in the van, didn't realise the impact it had actually had on my brain and my body. And I did one on the Monday, one on the following Saturday, and then on the Sunday I lost 20 minutes of my life because I had another stroke and were admitted to hospital again.
Right.
And then from then, it was just like about 2 months. It was just intense physio. I'd lost a lot of feeling in my left side. I couldn't walk properly and I was stumbling. My face was drooping. So I got a lot of support from the NHS, which I love that. And, Pinderfields Hospital gets a lot of stick, but they were absolutely amazing.
Right.
The staff there were fantastic with me. And, since that as well, I was under a psychiatric doctor later on. So this was like sort of September, October last year when I become mentally, it really did do me in. And what it was is how it's affected me, the brain damage that I've had is that I can't think as fast as I used to do. So I used to be quite off the cuff with things. And then I suffer a lot of fatigue. So when I get tired, when it comes to like 4 or 5 o'clock, I'm out. I can't really do much. If I have an event or something in the evening, I have to go to bed through the day to conserve my energy. But coming to terms with that and realising that was really difficult. And I started to lock myself away. I'd go out and I'd be filming. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing, but I was just going to do it because it paid the bills.
Yeah.
And I come home and I was locking myself away in the bedroom. I'd just go to bed. And Sophie, bless her, she was amazing, and she just kept relentlessly at me, really, saying, look, you need to speak to a doctor, you need to speak to a doctor, which I wouldn't. And it got to a point where I thought about taking my own life, which is something I never thought I would do. And Sophie just basically smashed the door down with the GP and said, look, you need to see him here. So I got to the GP and got put under the psychiatric doctor. And with that, I'll be honest, I walked into that meeting, I thought, what is this going to achieve? You know, why am I going to sit and talk to a stranger about what's going off in my head? And then I thought, you know what? You know, Sophie said to me, look, just go in there with an open mind and give it a go, please. She says, for us, just listen to what she says. And I did. And she started talking about putting your feelings on a leaf, imagining it's on a river and it's floating away. And I'm thinking, what is all this about? But let's go with it. 3 weeks in, wow. You know, just having somebody she was unlocking thoughts and feelings that I'd suppressed for years.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what she was doing, because she just got me talking about different things at my own comfortable pace. But then started teaching me how to manage anxiety and feelings, because that was the biggest problem that I had, that because I didn't want to show weakness, I didn't want to show that I was suffering, so I just locked myself away.
Yeah.
And then your own mind can sometimes be your own worst enemy, because you sit there thinking all these things. So once it sort of got to like January time, I was feeling a lot better mentally. And I started to see things a little bit more clearer as well, and how things in my life were being taken advantage of, and how that had an impact in what I was doing, and how I was being controlled in different things. So, you know, that led to obviously what's happened over the last few months. But I have got to say that anybody that's suffering with mental health, it is serious. And, you know, go out there and seek help. There is help out there. You know, I was lucky that I've got a support network with my family, which were amazing. I've got, you know, groups of friends that were just absolutely incredible back then. So like these guys, the Silverbacks, charity rugby league, it's all ex-rugby league players, and, you know, of professional and semi-pro, and just lads, and, you know, women as well. And, you know, they supported on the phone. The guy there, Johnny and Dave, they were on the phone to me daily, coming round to my house, dragging me out of bed, saying to Sophie, we'll speak to him, and just having a coffee. And you know, that there are people out there that will do this. But if you haven't got those people in your life, there are charities out there. But first and foremost, your GP. And I didn't think it would work. I thought it's nonsense. Everybody criticises GPs now, and then the NHS. But do you know what? They do get it right if you give them the chance to get it right.
And they can help you, because I've gone down that route. And I've spoken to my GP about my mental health, and I've had counselling through the NHS, and it is invaluable. And it's great to hear that you found it so useful as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. A lot of people thought, oh, he's got millions, he'll be paying for it private, which I ain't got millions. It's all a
people have that. I know people have that assumption, don't they?
But no, NHS route. Do you know what I mean? And it's there, and it was great, and I couldn't fault it. And if I'm honest with you, you know, I've been discharged now, but I can talk to her anytime, and I've sent her a few emails, and she's responded. And, you know, if I ever need to go back, then you can refer yourself back. But it's just those few emails that I've sent over the last few months, it's just a bit of reassurance and redirecting me to make sure that I'm right. And I found it just, you know, a lot better.
I don't know how you got through those months after you had the stroke, because I know you didn't want anyone to know. You had the pressure of still having to be your cheery persona on camera, because that's, as you said, was what paid the bills, and everybody expected that of you. You were under pressure from the people probably running the channel to keep up appearances. I mean, and you also had a whole family to keep going with, you know, to look after. No wonder really you became depressed. I mean, as well as the physical effects of having had the stroke, you had the mental effects.
Yeah, and I think the thing for me is trying to prioritise what were most important. And, you know, a lot of people, and we all do this in life, right? We spend a lot of time working, doing things to get money. Right, that's what we do. Everybody's working, and we're chasing money all the time, right? But now, what I've done is I've realised I now need to spend money to get time, because that's more important. So instead of me running around like an idiot doing things, right, I can pay somebody else to do it, and I can spend time with my family now. Because that's what the thing, that's what tweaked for me, is that you don't realise what you've actually got sometimes in front of you, and you think that you've got to be providing, and you think that you've got to be doing this, you think that you've got to be doing a service to everyone else, but really the most important people are those that are closest to you.
Health is wealth, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's something that I didn't realise, because especially within social media and the YouTube world, because it's so fast paced, and 1 minute you're up here, next minute you're down here. A lot of people, you know, they won't talk about your greatest moments, they'll talk about your failures. So that's a fear when you're in this world, that, you know, you're always looking over your shoulder. If you're out, you can't, you got to be careful, because everybody's got a phone, you know. So, you know, I'm not saying that I go out effing and blinding and doing all this all the time, but, you know, we're all human.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've seen it with other people, where people have taken videos of people and it's been put out of context of what it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have all that pressure. So for me, that's what we're going through my mind. And when I was watching some of the episodes back, what we filmed, I could see that I was slurring. I could see that there was episodes where I've said words that don't even make sense. But because I'm daft and jolly, I made it make sense in that way.
God.
I realised a few seconds later, because I got a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
So I'd be able to put a bit of a spin on it. But like, people would come and go, "What's he said there?" And it had turned into a joke. But for me, it was. So that's what started to, because I'm thinking, what if this gets worse?
Yeah.
What if this starts to, you know, get worse, and I can't do what I do, and then the impact is going to, and then that's what took me down that rabbit hole. But then again, you know, Sophie pulling me back out of that, and, you know, being the persistent that she is, and the kids, you know, obviously you mentioned Athena. The reason why they're not here today, mate, if I fetched her today, she'd be having these cameras over. She's like
running around everywhere.
Yeah, she's like Tasmanian devil.
Oh, bless her.
But, you know, watching her grow up now, so like the last sort of 2.5 months, I've spent so much time with her, because I've been mentally better, and it's been amazing. I would have possibly say the first 12 months of her life, I was on autopilot, so I didn't really know what was going on, and I missed a lot, which is when I look back, is sad. So now my focus is, I'm continuing to do social media, and I've got a lot of things going on, but I've got a lot of other people involved now that are helping rather than hindering.
Yeah, so it's not all just on your shoulders.
And, you know, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
That's great.
You're looking a lot better. Can I just take you back, because obviously with us, you know, health, this is a health sponsored website, and I know there will be information on that site about the signs of a stroke. What was it like for you? Did you have any inkling that something was wrong with your health?
No, so I was, on the day it happened, we were going out for a meal, and we were travelling over to Sheffield, and I went out to my car and I putting some washer fluid in, because it was February, so we know what roads are like in February. You're like that all the time, aren't you? So I thought, right, I better top it up, or I'm not going to get back and I'm not going to see. And I got to the car, I remember feeling a little bit off as I'm putting this fluid in, and I thought, that must be a bit strong, you know. And then I got back in the house, and then next thing I know, I've got Sophie and Summer and Joe, they're all around me. Dad, what's, you know, and I'm like, what's going on here? And, you know, that's it. I didn't really remember much. And then I remember in A&E, and it was packed, and triage on a bed in the corridor and people coming up. And then Sophie said she was arguing because they were trying to take photos. And I went out of it. I got drip hanging out my arm. Yeah, my face were all drooped. I was like this.
God.
And people were like, "Yeah, it's him off Rate My Takeaway, can I have a photo?"
God.
So she had to go get a private.
I can't believe that.
She had to go say to him, "Can you move into a room?" But then obviously once the triage knew what I was in for, then got whisked straight off. So I don't really remember like much of it. And then afterwards, a bit like being on the stroke ward, and it was just a bit confusing to what was happening. And then obviously I went for the brain scan, and they said about the blood clot. And then like second time round again, that was just, I would put something in the microwave. Next thing I'm on sofa. I don't know what's going on. And you know, I've been lucky enough really lucky that I've not had like lasting droopiness to my face, and you know, I still, like when I get to stumble sometimes and I still struggle a bit on my left side. I should really have an insert in my shoe and a brace on my leg, but I said I ain't walking around like Forrest Gump. That's when I said, you know, I try and turn it into humour.
You're a tough guy, Danny.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's you know, struggling with things and having to try and think hard about things sometimes is difficult to what it used to be like. But I've spoken to other people, you know, the Stroke Association are brilliant. I mean, I remember, so again, Sophie, she's just on it, right? And I'm like not wanting people to know. So she's contacted Stroke Association and she said, I've arranged for them to come and see you. So I'm like, right, all right, fair enough. Next thing, this car pulls up outside Stroke Association, straight down the side. Biggest car in the world it must have been. To me, it looked like it was an Arctic wagon, but it was a car just with Stroke Association. Woman comes up all badged up, and I'm like, oh my God. And I actually turned it away.
Right.
Because, and this is the thing as well, with having a stroke, it affects your mood as well. So I've not been easy to live with. For Sophie and the kids, have not been easy to live with at all, especially at that first 12 months, because the moods.
Well, it's also you kind of getting your head around it as well, and kind of understanding what's actually happened to you as an individual.
But it was also like short-tempered in a way, because I couldn't fully sometimes comprehend it and understand. So when it first happened, a lot of things were fuzzy. So, no, I don't want to do it. And then afterwards, I'd realise, oh, I'm so sorry. And then I'd get upset. So that a lot of things were affecting me like that, because I didn't want to obviously be like that with my family. And, you know, I've said like openly, like with the fallout with the guys from Rate My Takeaway, you know, I said in my video there that, you know, I'm not putting all the blame on them because I was difficult in these last nearly 18 months. Because of the effect of the stroke, and you know, I was with them. No, I don't want to do this now. I don't want to do that, and you know. But there's a lot of stuff going on there. But you know, it affects you. And I've spoken to a lot of people now through the Stroke Association, through Facebook, and I talk to people on there, different people, and you know, I've got another profile so people don't know who I am, and I talk to them about me and what's happened to them, and you know. Everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
And I always say it's like we can all read a textbook and we can all read information, but everybody's different. So with mental health, with bodies work different, mental health's different. We all process things in a different way.
Exactly.
So it's like grief. When somebody passes away, if you've experienced grief in your life, I don't go up to somebody and go, I know what you're going through, because I don't think that you do. We all go through grief and a loss, but we all deal with it in a different way. Some people shut off. Some people break down. Some people show happiness. You know, that's not to say you're not grieving. And grief has been a big thing of this, because that's sort of like what my family's had to do a little bit. They've had to grieve a little bit because of a bit of me that's been lost. And then I've had to do that as well. And to continue doing what I did, hiding all that. Now when I look back, I wish I'd have just been truthful from the off, because hiding it all caused me a lot of issues. So now, you know, it's just about honesty and going forward, dealing with mental health, dealing with the issues that I've got, you know, and yeah, I might look happy on camera, I might look great, but a lot of the times I was a broken man. I was going home and I was in bits, and everybody can put a face on and everybody can be happy when you're on camera, because you know that's what you've got to do. We're all in this game, and we know that when that camera's at you, that's your job.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing.
Got to turn it on.
Right, people are looking at you for a certain thing in a certain way, right? But now I've realised, we were at my takeaway. A lot of people followed me through COVID, and the amount of people that come up and said that I helped them through difficult times in their life, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And it was just bringing them pure joy, just to watch me singing and dancing. And like, even when I were over here in the market, dressed up, doing all daft stuff, they were watching me on Facebook, and it was bringing them joy.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't understand that, but now I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, you felt that pressure to keep up that persona, but then you made the decision to be honest and open about what had happened and the situation that you're in. And that must have been quite a relief in many ways. And because the outpouring of love and support you had online as well was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, doing that video, and the reason why I did it, right, is because I always said to Sophie, because like Sophie was saying, look, I think we should, or you should tell your story, you know. And I was like, when the time's right, I will. And she's like, right, you know, and she was supporting me. And I went on another podcast with a mate of mine, and I filled in for him, somebody else, and I'm sat on the podcast with him, and we're chatting, and he asked me a question, and it just felt right. And I just spoke about it. And I went, whoa. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, God. And he's like, look, mate, if you want me to cut this out. And I went, do you know what? No, I don't. I says, leave it in. I knew that it wasn't going out until the week after. So I then had a week to let everybody know what was going on before it went out on another podcast, if you like. So I went home, I spoke to the lads at Rate My Takeaway and said, right, I've done this, and they were like, oh, do you think that's the right thing? And I went, well, it's my decision to make. Yes, I do. So we'll mention it on a video. And obviously with me and Sophie, so I did a video with Sophie. We put it out there, and I was scared. I was absolutely bricking it, because I thought, if people then just go in at me, and because I have some really nasty trolls, really nasty people on me, and a lot of the time, 99% of the time, it's water off a duck's back, because I'm not right bothered. You know, I've got a thick skin with it all now, so it's very rarely anything really gets to me. But with this, because it was such a traumatic event for me and my family, I was worried. And we'd actually booked a holiday with Sophie's dad's to go to Benidorm, good old Benners, you know, that just before the sun kicks in, get down there, you know. No frills, no 5-star hotel, it was 3-star all inclusive, pool was freezing, but the sea was warm and it was great. And this had gone out a couple of days before we went, and I remember getting there and I'm looking at all these comments, and I was sat on balcony in the morning and I was just sobbing because I was just so overwhelmed with the support. I mean, I'm just joking. With the support that, sorry.
No, it's okay.
That people were giving me and Sophie, and it just alleviated a lot of the pressure. And, you know, for that full week, I was just like, I was in a bit of a trance, because I was just like, why have I been so worried about talking about the truth? Because a lot of my life's online, and with different things, not just eating food, but with Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire, and, you know, with Athena, and we do a lot of stuff together. So people know a lot about my life, but the main thing I kept away. And still to this day, people still message me and say that they've had a stroke, they're the same. And then I talk to them and we message, and, you know, I try and give different examples of things that I've done. But you know, for me, it's just about I know that it's hard. I know it's tough.
Yeah.
When you've had that, you need to.
But people relate to you, and that's the key with you, Danny. Everybody relates to you, and every part of your life. You know, they're following you, and everything that happens to you, they want to be involved and to support you. They feel like your family.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you know, since I've spoke about it, I've then been involved in different things, and it's all been positive. But I'm going to talk about something now. This week there's been a little bit of negative about the stroke, and this is, you know, it might be jumping you're going to hear a little bit, but with social media, like I said before, you have your ups and downs, and obviously with the breakup of Rate My Takeaway, there's been a lot of talk about that, and you know, I've done a few statements, and lads have put a few things out, and you know, after a couple of weeks, we've not really spoke about anything online. We've kept it between us. But other people have clipped comments and said stuff, and which I don't mind. They're entitled to do and say what they want to say, and people have got their own opinion. But one guy on TikTok, he's known as Painfully Honest Reviews, did a TikTok 3 or 4 days ago, and it was, he allegedly had information that I'd not had a stroke, that it was actually a TIA, and that I were only doing it to get views and this and other, which that upset me. And when I say nothing,
why would you go through all that?
Yeah, it upset me. And he's banging on about, if you can prove to me that you've had a stroke, then that's great. I'll let people know.
What on earth has it got to do with him?
It's none of his business.
Yeah.
And this is what I thought, you know, but it got to me because, you know what? My family's been through so much. Right? And my daughter saw that video. And she's beside herself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and he does these videos, and what he does to people and what he says about people, you know, again, he's getting clicks, he's getting what he does, and that's what he does, right?
Well, it's clickbait, isn't it?
Yeah, if he can sleep at night, what he does, that's fine, right? So I emailed him, because that's what he asked me to do. I asked him for his phone number, because I wanted to phone him and have a conversation. I said I wouldn't share it, because I'm not that kind of person to say, oh, look, this is his name and address and phone number. I'm not that kind of guy. But I just wanted to talk to him and just say, look, mate, you know, there's a lot of stuff what you've said about me on different things, which I'll get to him later on when I can. But on this specific one, I want to talk to you and get it cleared up. Yeah. He didn't want to talk over the phone, didn't want to give me his phone number.
Of course he didn't.
Said that he wanted me to go into my NHS app and produce my medical records.
And provide,
absolutely outrageous.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, and that, if I did that, then he'd take the video down. And it wasn't so much that I wanted to do it. It was because I wanted to get it off.
Yeah.
Because of the effect that it's having on my family.
So you went to that length, so, which you didn't need to, really.
Well, I provided him a letter, right? But again, with this, at first, I provided him with a letter that was to say that I'd been referred to the psychiatric doctor that said, because of the effects of the stroke.
Yeah,
not TIA, because of the stroke. So it had the word stroke, right? So I said to him, I'll provide you with that, but please don't put the context of the details in there, because it had different things about my mental health on this letter.
Exactly. Is that personal information that you don't?
But I was willing to send it to him. And at first he come back with, well, that's like me getting a letter from my optician about my tooth. I'm like, what are you on about? It's an NHS and it says about my stroke and that I've got to get treatment. So in the end I sent it to him and he took the video down. What's boggled me is that when he's done people in before, and they've proved that he's wrong, he's then done a video to say, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, they provided this proof. He hasn't done that for me. What he's done is he just took the video down.
And then just left it.
Yeah, because he knows.
So you want an apology?
Yeah.
Ideally.
But he shouldn't be allowed to do that in the first place. And even as you're describing it, it sounds like blackmail.
Yeah.
In some way, like wanting personal documents from you to prove something.
So he can say anything he likes.
Yeah.
For clicks and money-making measures on TikTok. So he says anything just to get the hits.
Yeah.
But and you've got to then bare your soul to get it taken off.
So he's done 2 or 3 other videos about issues with Rate My Takeaway, right? And that's fine, because that's what I do for a job. But this were personal. So whoever has messaged into him, which I've got a good idea who it is, what's going on, they've just sunk so low, right? But I said to him in this email, have you, the proof that you've got, is it from a medical professional or from an NHS letter? Yeah. Is it any of that? Because if it isn't, then really it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
But I had to provide that.
Oh, it's so bad. That's so bad.
To say, and this is the other side of it.
Yeah, this is the other side.
That sent me right back.
Of course.
And on that train journey home from London on Tuesday, I was sweat dripping down my face. I threw up, right, because of the trauma that it caused my family, what were going on with them seeing that video. And I thought, you know what, because people can have a go at me for stuff that I do online. They can talk to me about Rate My Takeaway. If they don't agree with certain things that I do, that's fine. And I'll defend myself. If I've done wrong, then I'll say I've done wrong.
Yeah.
But that was just an attack.
Yeah.
On my personal.
They should be, honestly, blinking laws in place.
Well, they should. And this is...
There are, aren't there? But nobody, they don't act
and it's
on
a
them.
bigger
It's
debate.
defamation, it's libel.
It is. It's a bigger debate, isn't it? And I think we've talked about this before in the series about the impact that has and how
it's unregulated.
Get away
it's
with
wrong.
it.
It's wrong.
Because that is a personal attack on you, and it just boils.
It could be seen as a hate crime. I mean, and that is a crime now.
Yeah.
So, it's people who do this sort of thing are asking for trouble.
But this is me, right? This is how much of a nice guy I am. I've agreed as well in this email that once things have been sorted out with Rate My Takeaway, I will address the other things that he's said, which I don't have to do.
Yeah.
He's asked me if I will. And I said, yeah, I will. Yeah. But at this moment in time, I can't.
Let's talk about that decision to walk away from Rate My Takeaway over the summer. Big decision for you. And I know it's been something you obviously were thinking about, but it's everything that really that has happened to you in this last year or so has played into that, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's, it's difficult to talk about now, because when I first made that decision, I sent the guys a resignation letter with my reasons in there for resigning, which was a lot to do with my mental health and how the structure of Rate My Takeaway and working with them had played into that. And basically that I needed to walk away to get myself better, which was difficult to do because, we built that together, all three of us. And we built something amazing, and we created a channel that went viral, and as we said earlier on, provided a lot of pleasure for a lot of people. So I'll never take that away from them and say that there wasn't a part of that, because there was, because we did it together. But behind the scenes, there were a lot of issues with us, and we fell out a lot. And like I say, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. But there were things that I was promised that I didn't get from day one. And in that resignation letter, I give options to move on. Now, when I put that first video out to say I was leaving, that resignation letter had gone in a week before. And this is what people don't know. And within that week, I just got abuse and grief.
From the guys?
Yeah. And so I did that first video. I got threatened with legal action. So I had to wait the 7 days, because I got told I was going to receive a letter from the solicitor by 5 o'clock on the Friday. 5 o'clock come, and that letter never come. So 6 o'clock I put the first video out announcing that I was leaving. They then put a video out themselves, which lasted 3 hours. They then took it down. They then put a statement out, which lasted another 3 or 4 hours, and they took that down. They put another one out, which they kept editing. And then over the course, another 3 or 4 statements went out, which they kept taking down, because not once did they admit any guilt. They pushed all the blame onto me, saying that it was a surprise. It wasn't a surprise to them. They knew that things were fragile. They knew that that I wasn't right, but they were just hoping that because of the money factor, I'd keep going. So I got locked out of everything. The bank account, that got emptied, split between the three of us. They did empty it, but they split the money between the three of us. The van got taken. I still don't know where that is to this day.
Do you own any of the van? Is that something that you have?
Yeah, in my mind, right, I own the van because the money that we got from YouTube and sponsorship paid for the van.
Well, it's a joint asset then, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the way that it's been done, I didn't know this, but it's been done through different companies' payments. I didn't know this.
Right.
I had no control over the channel.
Right.
I had no, and this, towards the end, we was in Malaysia on a family holiday, and my daughter, who's now 16, when she finished her exams, I took her away for 5 days to Mallorca, just me and her, to say well done for your exams. And we did 2 or 3 videos for Rate My Takeaway because, I thought, well, we're in Mallorca. Someone don't mind being on, let's capitalise on this and do a few videos.
Yeah.
So I did the videos, put them up, and she was 15 at the time. And the amount of abuse that she got from men saying things like, I'll put my hot dog in your bun.
Oh, no.
Right.
God.
Oh, God.
Was driving me insane. But I could not remove these comments because I did not have the power
and the
access to do it.
And they just allowed that to stay on there.
So I was constantly asking them to
and
they
just let
it stay on.
Oh, that's horrendous.
They've said that they haven't, but I've got all the proof, and it's all nuts. But that happened like June. So the back end of July, when I'm in Malaysia, and my daughter's crying because people are sending her these messages saying, oh, look what people are saying about you. I lost it. I'll be honest with you, I lost it, and I phoned the editor up and I said, I'm telling you now, if you do not take these comments off, I will not do one more video for this channel. Yeah, but, it could affect the algorithm. I don't give a shite about the algorithm. So I don't, I want it off.
Yeah.
And he took it off. But it was 6 weeks too late.
Yeah.
She
It should have been monitored straight away. And
for me. That's what started to get me to think.
They were putting themselves beyond
your family.
You and your family, yeah.
Because Sophie has had so much abuse on there.
Yeah.
And in the second video that I did, I spoke about a lot of things. I spoke about sponsorship because I've had a bit of beef with another TikToker, YouTuber, Food Review Club, over he got outed for charging takeaways for reviews. He was charging them up to 1,500 quid to go.
Right.
And I got loads of messages and emails saying, Danny, do you do this? What do you think of this? So I did a video about it, and I said, to be honest, I think it's disgusting to charge an independent business that amount of money. And if you're doing a review, don't charge. If you're going to charge, if that's what you want to do, just don't score it. So you can do the same thing, but don't say it's a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And I did that video, and I spoke about other things in there, which, looking back, I will admit, and I'll say it, and I have apologised to Matt about it. Maybe I should have kept it to myself, right? Because it caused me a bit of grief, and I apologise. But it's like when I did this second video, I spoke about the sponsorship, because we have had sponsorship. We have been paid to do reviews, but not paid in that way. So there was one paid review which I didn't know about until I'd done it. Because again, I have no control of this channel. They decide where we go. They tell me when we're going. They edit it. They upload it. I've got no control whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right? So for all I know, they could have been charging people for every review. I don't know, because I never saw the bank accounts until October last year, and we're 5 years down the line. So I never saw anything, and I've never seen the past accounts.
Everyone thought you were like, it's your own channel, didn't they? A lot of people didn't realise that.
Yeah. So we did a deal with Uber, where Uber provided us with a list of 50 takeaways in Leeds, Bradford. And they wanted us to go and review them. And what I said is I did not want to know which one I was going to.
Yeah.
Because then I could give it an honest review.
Mm.
Were these all like Uber Eats then?
So they were all on Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, yeah.
So I didn't mention Uber, didn't mention that Uber sent me there, didn't mention that it were paid, because it was a sponsorship deal with Uber just to visit a place. It wasn't paid by the place. It wasn't the place influencing me.
Mm.
And I didn't know where I was going.
Mm.
I didn't, because I knew all these places, most of them are all Uber and Just Eat, Deliveroo, they've all got, they're on them all.
Yeah.
So I just go and review it. And then afterwards, that was one of them ticked off. All right, great. Some of them I get 10s, some of them I get 8s, 9s. But every one of them were honest with you, right? So to me, it's different to what Matt were doing. And, you know, there's just been a bit of banter with me and Matt, as he called it, and I called it. And this is where I think, should I have really said that? I don't know. And I still sort of stay to it because I called it bullying. Mm. Because he used to say things about, oh, maybe I should get a table and chair, I'd get more views and all this. And he'd make comments like that, but I'd never react. I've never spoken to the guy personally. We've never exchanged a message personally, right? So he said it was banter. And I'm like, well, banter's when it's a two-way thing.
Yeah.
So I did a couple of podcasts and started doing this bantering thing and saying, if you want to jump in the ring for Misfits, I'll knock your beard off and all this, you know, a bit of banter, thinking, look.
Yeah, well, if he's doing it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But then obviously when I put the statement out about leaving Rate My Takeaway, he went in and he did his statement and he was like, hi, you're only an employee. You got your P45 now, which I'm not an employee because
no,
I own 33%.
Yeah.
It's not that again. What's it got to do with him? Why is it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of jealousy, I would say.
But it's,
yeah.
Do you know what? Fair play to him. I knew it was going to come, right? Because it's an opportunity for him, right? And I agree with it all, and I took it all at chin, and I thought fair play, up to the point when he brought in the mental health card, and he overstepped the mark with that. All right, because I thought, there's no need to put that in there, because it's a serious thing. What I did say is that, you know, I'd never wish him to suffer anything that I've gone through. All right. And I said I'd love to sit down with him, have a coffee and hash it out. But he clearly said that's never going to happen. He's never going to talk about me again. And he has since then.
Of course it is, because he gets hits on his channel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, at that point he thought, I'm done.
Yeah.
He thought, I'm gone. I've left Rate My Takeaway. That's it.
Yeah.
It's over.
Well, more fool him.
Yeah.
Thinking that.
Yeah. So it's been difficult and to make that decision, and there's a lot of issues between me and the lads, which is upsetting because in the beginning it was great and we were friends and we had some good times together. We went on an American tour, all three of us, which were amazing, you know, and in between filming we sat around pool and we're chilling, and, you know, one of them gets burnt like a lobster and me and other one's laughing, and, you know, we're in Vegas and it's just like, we're unreal, you know. So I've got some good memories, but unfortunately there's some bad ones. And it was never about money for me. It was always about just what's fair and just having access to take the messages off.
Yeah.
Having access to...
If you were an equal partner in it, you should have been able to do that.
I never had access to TikTok.
Yeah.
But it's my face that's all over it.
Yeah,
it's just simple things. Just give me a password and
you're the brand. You're the brand, aren't you? And business, but it's your business partners that you're losing, but also, like you just said, it's a friendship that you had for a number of years.
And I think that hurt as well, that the friendship broke down. And then because that broke down, and then the way different situations that I were in that I had to film and I didn't really want to film, it became where I didn't want to go to work. And Sophie, again, like, she's spoken to me about it since, and like since I left, she's overwhelmed because she was scared when I went away for a few days filming that I wasn't going to come back because of the anxiety that I would have. I'd go out and film and then I'd just go straight back to the hotel and go to bed. Up the next morning, film, go to bed.
I remember, because I'm close to Sophie, and she told me about that period, you know, and she's so loving and supportive. She literally is a living angel, honestly. She really is.
But in my video, that second one, I said in there that she's had so much stick on this channel, right? And they never took it off. And they let people be racist to her. They let people say some disgusting things about her.
Which
and never took it off, right? And she was no part of this decision whatsoever. This decision was mine and mine alone to make. She did not influence it in one bit because she just wanted me to want what I wanted.
To be okay,
And I made this decision.
She did. I think she was very happy if it all stopped tomorrow, as long as you were okay.
But do you know what happened? I put the second video out, and what happened? Rate my takeaway. Come on the comments, blaming Sophie. Straight away.
Really?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I wanted to do a farewell video, but how could I do one to put on the Rate My Takeaway channel when they had control and they would film and edit it? Because they wouldn't let me sit there and say what I said and say the truth.
And you've taken a different path in your own life.
Yeah.
You and Sophie have built up the Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire brand yourself.
Yeah.
But you've also got a new channel that just launched very recently.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So through all this that's been going on, over the past, year and a half, 2 years, another creator come on the scene, onto the YouTube scene, older guy, wears his gilet, called Gary Eats. And Gary is a bit similar to myself in how he is, but he's a lot more posher. He's not as common. He's a southern lad, so he's not as northern as me. And he eats in a lot posher places. He don't just do takeaways. He does Michelin star restaurants, but he is harsh. So he's gone up against like Gordon Ramsay and he's gone in like Rick Stein. He's been down to his restaurants and it's been publicised on papers and news because he's gone down and gone, this is unacceptable to come down to Rick Stein's restaurant and eat this food and pay this money. And then I had him on Rate My Takeaway for an episode, and it was at Rick Stein's fish and chip restaurant. And me, him, and another creator called Greeno went, and we tried the fish and chips, and it was amazing. And Gary said, since he went, they upped the game. So we've done a few videos together, and Gary's, when I put the notice out about me leaving Rate My Takeaway, I'm not kidding you, when that video went out, my phone, I thought it was going to explode because it was ping, phone calls from all different food creators, all different creators on YouTube, Instagram and that, friends, family. Because I didn't even tell a lot of family friends neither what I was doing, and they were like shocked. They were like, what's going on? My mum, what's that? No, I told my mum. I hadn't told my mum, she was killed. But Gary, he was phoning me every day without failing. It was like, right, how's it going? How are you feeling today? Don't let it get you down, you know. And then we met up for a coffee. And he's like, Dan, what are you going to do? I don't know, Gaz. You know, I'm doing stuff on Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire, which I'm enjoying. I says, but obviously people want to see me reviewing food. I says, but I'd lost confidence and I didn't know who to trust. So he says, well, do you fancy doing something together? And I'll scale down Gary Eats and we'll do a channel together. And I thought, wow. We sat for 4 hours in a pub in London. Me, him, Sophie and his son, chatting about it. They wanted Sophie involved, which was amazing because she were never allowed to be involved in anything else before.
That's brilliant.
So she was involved. I'm sat there thinking, wow. And I've given total control. Got everything. And he has as well. It's straight down the middle.
Yeah.
And we've been filming now for 5 weeks. A few episodes have gone out, have been great, but you know what? It has been the best time of my life.
Right.
Because I have had such a spring in my step.
You can see in your face. You look so much more relaxed.
Yeah, talking about it as well.
Do you know what? It's so weird because we're so different but so similar. And like people were saying, oh no, it's not going to work, it's not going to do this. But it's totally different because he's taking me into Michelin star restaurants. He's taking me to a restaurant where I'm having a steak at 135 quid that I used to sell across the road here for a £5.
Yeah.
The same size and the same flavour, the same sort of steak. And I'm saying this going, that's an absolute rip-off.
Brilliant.
We're in a London restaurant and I'm saying that's a rip-off. go to your local butcher, they'll do you one better for a tenner.
Yeah.
Don't be coming down here. And then we're going to takeaways. But I think what it is because Gary were known for being harsh, right, with his scoring, and I were always giving 9s and 10s because I was being recommended the best places to go. Here, we've mixed it up. We're pitting places against each other. So in one episode, there'll be 2 restaurants because we're seeing which is the best.
Right.
We're doing chains and we're saying which one of those is the best. What's value for money? We're putting a meaning behind the videos.
I love it.
But there's comedy. Right? One of them, I'm laughing about a sausage for different reasons. Right? And I can't stop laughing, and we're leaving it in. And Gary's just like, do you not want this big meaty one? And I'm like, Gary, just... I'm trying not to...
act.
Yeah, but you know what it's like, you know.
Yeah.
When you're doing this and if something gets you chuckling like a little kid, you can't stop.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then like the cameraman's laughing and I'm like, you won't shut up.
But people love to see that as well.
Yeah.
They really
And
do.
The real stuff.
Bringing out a different side in us both. And yeah, some of it's going to be childish and some of it's going to be... But it's different, right? But the end game is it's still about food.
Yeah.
Right. But again, so on the 3rd episode that we filmed, Gary went, I've had to tell enough. Because his son, right, he's the producer, the editor, he does all this. And what we agreed is, you run it. Right. He's responsible for making sure what we're doing, it's right, where we're going, and we'll turn up. Because you've got to put a story together, you've got to have something behind, you've got to have somebody like that. You've got somebody here that's doing all that, that's helping you put it all together. You've got to have somebody like that. You can't be naive to think you can just put a camera in front of yourself and do it yourself, because it does not work, right? So I says, why, what's he told you off for? And he says, I've been told to up my game. I says, up your game. Because in Rate My Takeaway, it's limited of what I can say, because we're talking about burgers and kebabs. We're going into restaurants and I'm sat there and I'm talking about different cuts of beef and meat. I'm identifying in one place that Gary's going, this lamb's a bit tough. I says, yeah, that's goat.
Wow.
Oh, you know.
So you know,
well,
yeah.
Worked at butchers for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm talking about flavours in Michelin star restaurants, and he's looking at me like, yeah, you're right.
That's teaching him stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But then also he's then doing things that's then teaching me, and we're learning off each other. And this is what's going to surprise people, because people just think I've just got a limited knowledge, but I've actually got quite a good palate, and I know a lot about food.
Right.
But yeah, I've got that. I've got the Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire, which is great because with me and Sophie, we're able to do a lot more family content, but involve food in it now as well, which is amazing. So we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
And
that,
a new
which is
podcast.
Good. Yeah, we've got a podcast coming.
Exciting.
So that we should be airing that sort of back in December, January time.
And that's with a fella Barnsley lad.
So it could have been on by now.
Yes.
I don't know because I haven't got a date.
Well, yes, but I think it might well be by the time
so it could have been on. So if it is on, I don't know what it's called yet.
Oh, I just have to randomly find it.
Yeah. It'll be there.
Take it with.
So I'm doing it with a guy called Jordan Gray.
Right.
So if anybody's from Barnsley, they'll know Jordan, right? And if you don't know him, you will definitely see him. He's about 7 foot tall. If you're a boxing fan, then you'll see him there because he's most likely walking out, usually up front with Tyson Fury, Usyk and all them. You know, he's there. He's done stuff with Luke Littler. So on Tuesday, I'm coming back from London, right, and I'm on train. He's sending me a message and he's just stepping onto a private jet to fly back to Paris. And I'm saying, this is wrong, this, mate. I says, we've got this. I should have the jet and you should be on the train.
I know, it should be the other way around.
But we're doing it slightly different to a conventional podcast.
Okay.
So we're going to be using, because obviously I'm also involved with Estabulo, so they used to sponsor Rate My Takeaway.
The restaurant. Yeah.
But recently I acquired shares in the Barnsley one for myself, and so I'm involved in that.
Right.
And what we're going to do is we're going to be using the restaurant as the setting.
Oh, brilliant.
Like, so we're in the bar, when it's closed, we can be at the bar, or we can be sat down, or even when it's open and have a bit of meat. But that also allows us to have access to all of those restaurants, and he's got them dotted around. There's one up in Aberdeen, so if we're up there doing a podcast, we can use that.
You've always got a place to.
Yeah, and he also has got Habibi's. So he's got one in Leeds, one in Manchester.
Oh,
So we're going to be using them.
Great.
So if you ever want an on location,
is that Zach? Then?
Yes.
So I know Zach.
Yeah. I know you do.
Yeah.
So if you ever want an on location, I can sort that out. If you ever want to use one of them and do a bit of a drink and a bit of meat on
Yorkshire Talks goes on tour.
I know, let's do it.
I can do that.
Yeah.
So that's exciting because he's a character. And what I mean by a character, I'm going to have to rein him in, right? Because, when I'm on camera, I don't swear much because, it's a certain audience that I've got. But Jordan is a typical Barnsley fella and he's effing and jeffing all the time. And I'm like, mate, we're going to have to rein that in for this podcast because it's just going to be a beat fest. But I'm doing, I would have done the firework display at Lock Park on Saturday. And he says, guess what? I'm your security. I says, what do you mean? So I'm lighting the bonfire. And they've got the security company and they've said that they're going to put Jordan with me as security. I'm like, mate, I'm not that famous. I don't need you walking me about. He's going from Tyson Fury and Luke Littler to me.
Well, I've seen you get mobbed in the few pubs when I've been out with you.
So, yes, I've got that. And then I've got Danny's Collective, which is coming up.
Go on.
So this will be running now.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I had Rate My Takeaway Kitchen in Huddersfield. But again, because of the fallout with the guys, that has taken a real bad hit, and we went down to 2 vendors. People left because somebody started up a Facebook page, boycott it, because of me and them being involved in a business together because of how they feel about them and the situation. They thought that the money that it's all going to us. To be honest, it doesn't make that much because we don't charge that much. It's more about giving the independent vendors a platform. That's what it was all about.
Creating a community,
so we had to pull away from that, and the pack horse actually served his notice and asked us to leave on 9th of November.
Right.
So we come away, but then I did a deal with them that I would come back as myself, as Danny's Collective, and try and revive it because I still believe in Huddersfield and I think it's coming up. So Danny's Collective is totally different. It's going to be a set of socials where it's not just going to be food. It's going to be pubs, bars, restaurants, sofa shops, nail bars. I want to create a social platform for people to come on, and sort of an advertising platform, if you like, and share
it. So it's an online platform.
So it's going to be on Instagram, Facebook, but they're going to be collaborating with each other.
Right.
To get each other's audience.
Fantastic.
So I'm just going to give it a go and see how it is.
Up and running. Yeah.
I've got, so with all that, I've got enough on.
Oh, Danny, it's been absolutely lovely of you to come and talk to us about what's been happening and being so honest and sharing your story. And I'm sure we'll hopefully have you back again if that's okay with you.
No, definitely.
Because it's so lovely to listen to you talk, and I think you will help a lot of people.
Definitely.
I'm going to get it on camera now, so I've got evidence, and I want it keeping in, Mr. Editor. So when me and Jordan do the podcast, I'd like to invite you onto our podcast.
We'd love to. We'd love to.
We'd turn the tables on you. And it is going to be different. It is going to be different for you.
Thank you, Danny. We'd love to do that.
We'd love to have you on. And
Danny, thank you very, very much indeed. Thank you. And everything Danny's talked about as well, health-wise, there will be information on the patient.info app if you want to go there. And
can I just say, I did use that as well.
Did you?
Yes,
you used it.
Yeah,
brilliant.
So when I saw that that's why when I said today about the sponsor, I did use it. And again, it's because trying to find information about things, we've all done it. You go on Google, you put something in, right, and you think that's it, you're going to lose your leg.
Yes.
You've got a little spot on your knee and you're going to lose your leg. And no, don't do that. Go to this because
it's health professionals that
proper information.
Actually write it, rather than speculation.
So I'm not giving it a thing. I'm saying from experience here, because I am one of those that gets a splinter and thinks I'm going to lose my arm. So you do need to.
No, that's brilliant.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you,
lovely. Give our love to Sophie and
Athena
and all the children. Yeah, it's been lovely to chat to you again.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, and that's just about it from another episode of Yorkshire Talks, isn't it, Matt?
It is. Thank you so much, Danny, as well. I mean, it's just amazing, everything that you spoke about today. So really appreciate you being so open about it all.
We do.
So that was it for today. We will be back with our next episode of Yorkshire Talks, but please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye for now.
Take care.